Hey, what is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Christian know who I be. Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV. Back again, once again. You already know what it is. First time to the channel, guys. Make sure you subscribe, notify, do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the good Doc's content. All of my good stuff shall be listed in the link in the description area below. I wanted to share with you guys a trick that I've learned to be pretty beneficial over the last few years of being a part of the dating landscape and things like that, in reference to dealing with women in general, but also with dealing with Filipinas. I found this particular one trick to be absolutely awesome, and the success rate has definitely been higher than most. Okay, so naturally, whether this be in an online setting, whether this be in a public setting, whenever you meet a girl, everybody has something about a female that they like, right? If you know me and you've been a part of the Dr. Mike TV channel for any period of time, you know the part of the female anatomy that locks me in 9 times out of 10, sometimes 10 times out of 10. My boy Robert, he knows. My man Robert Morris, he knows. Because every time I bring it up in the chat, always the first to answer. But for those that are not in the know, the good doc finds himself to be attracted to women who are well endowed in their frontals. Okay? I need not say more. I would rather say less. Because it makes me sound a little bit perverse. But I don't give a shit. It's just the way that it is. I find myself attracted to women who are top heavy. Okay? And when I was dealing with women in online settings, or whether it be in person, I can honestly say that I would find myself sending messages to women who seem to fit my bill, or to fit the body build that I found to be attractive about a woman. Okay? But if there's one thing that I never did, I never, ever did this. Even though I liked that particular part of the female anatomy, I never complimented them on that part of their body. So I've learned from even talking to females in general, especially in online settings and stuff like that, what I've learned is that guys, foreigners more specifically, when they see it, they have no choice but to compliment on it, right? Oh, girl, your boobs are so big. Oh, you got such a nice ass. And when women are used to hearing that on a daily basis, for you to come behind these guys and say the exact same thing, it's not going to help you. Because now you're just falling in line with what everybody else is saying, right? So what I've learned is no matter how hard or no matter how bad I want to, I always avoid complimenting them on that particular body part. They know within themselves that that's probably the part of their body that is the most attractive about them, or they know that this is what is drawing the foreigner attention. So for me, I will compliment them. I'll say, hey, you got a nice smile. If we're meeting in person, I'll compliment them on what they're wearing. Oh, I like the color on you, brings out your eyes. Anything other than that. Because when you come at them and approach them complimenting them on different aspects or different parts of them, as opposed to the part that they're not wanting to, but maybe wanting you to talk about, it kind of confuses them. It's like, yo, I know he see this shit, right? I know he sees this. Why is he not talking about it? Because they're used to foreigners and probably other guys complimenting them on it. So for me, I avoid it at all costs. I compliment smiles, I compliment eyes, things like that. That works for me. All right. Now, there will probably come a part in the conversation, or if you want to gear them to bring it up themselves as opposed to you being the one to bring it up, I will ask them questions like, what do you find to be the most attractive part about you? You know what I'm saying? If this is where the conversation is going, I'll ask them, what do you find to be the most attractive thing about you? Most of the time, they'll say, well, I have often been complimented on my assets, right? So then when she says it first, then I may say something, but I'm never the first to talk about it. She has to be the one to talk about it first before I bring it up. And when she thinks that you're more substanced and a little bit less shallow than the other foreigners she's probably dealt with or talked to online or had, conversations with or iMessages with, then you can elevate the conversation in different ways. All right? And I want you guys to utilize this, or at least put it in your arsenal if you haven't already used it before. I know I'm not bringing you guys breaking news or anything, but I'm telling you there are a lot more benefits to complimenting a woman on something that she's not being used to being complimented on, as opposed to complimenting her on the thing that foreigners are often used to complimenting her on. Trust me when I tell you, it has helped me more times than not. And sometimes I'll even have girls ask me, why haven't you talked about, whatever, or why haven't you brung this up in conversation? Because she's used to foreigners talking about it. And that's when you slide into little shit. I'm different, and I see something more in you than just what you present. I'm more into who you are as a person than what you present in a purely aesthetic way. Of course, I'm not using big words like that. Mainly, I'll just say, I'm a little bit more than, just what you look like. I want to get to know you personally and shit like that. Watch the panties melt. Telling you, man, because when they find a foreigner that's really about something, and truthfully I do want to know them, I truly do, but when they find a foreigner that's willing to know more about them, as opposed to just talking about how their body looks and whatever it may be that you find attractive, whether it be frontals, whether it be our assets, whatever, now it's about, well, damn, this guy sees me as more than an object. This guy sees me as more than just a person to objectify. And, when I was talking earlier about the foreigners who often say, oh my God, you got such beautiful breasts, or oh my God, your ass is so nice, when she's used to getting those compliments, or I should say comments, because maybe she doesn't necessarily take it as a compliment, she's probably immediately turned off. You understand? But when you stimulate the intellect, when you start talking about things that she's probably not used to being complimented on, smile, eyes, maybe what she's wearing, like the color on you, brings out your eyes, like I said earlier. Now all of a sudden she's starting to think, well, damn, maybe this guy likes me for more than just my assets. And you get so much more. Sometimes guys don't want to take it to the next level because they want to focus purely on the aesthetics. They want to say, well, I'm trying to hit that. Let me just throw the money at him, see where it goes. But in that regard, what you're failing to realize is you're probably not the only guy that's having that same thought process. So, who knows what her number is if all you're worried about is throwing, pesos at her and shit. I think that if you have the time, and I do admit I did have the time to really figure myself out and figure out what worked best for me. Sometimes a lot of guys don't have time, which is why they come with the money. But if you do give yourself at least an opportunity to try to get to know a girl first, or try to avoid complimenting her on those assets first, try to find a roundabout way around it. It don't really take days to do that, of course. But, once you give yourself an opportunity, I do believe that will help you. Right? Because when she thinks that you're a little bit deeper than focusing on her appearance alone, get them to open up a little bit more. Trust me. You want them all open, bruh. You want them as open as humanly possible. And I feel like that's one of the tricks in the Good Doc's book that is definitely proved to be more beneficial than detrimental. So, next time you're dealing with a young lady, next time you're talking to somebody online, next time you're talking to somebody in person, if you want a compliment, I encourage you to do it. What attracted me to you was your eyes or your smile. Anything other than what she knows is her assets. What she knows she brings, what she knows brings all the boys to the yard, right? Compliments her on everything other than that. That way, in her mind, she's thinking you don't give a fuck about it. It really doesn't mean that much to you. You see her as more than an object. And I kind of feel like when women know that a guy sees them as more than just an object, or you at least present it in that manner, there's something about the way they open up after that that takes shit to a whole nother level. Marinate on that one for a second, and I'm going to let you guys rock. Alright? This has been a Good Doc. You know what time it is. It's time for me to go and get to getting. With that being said, the Good Doc is officially out. At least nako paalam, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Makita. Mabuhay. Peace.